Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jazz Nicole if you are new here. I am going to do a video all about how to identity shift. And this is a concept that I've seen circulating online, and the concept that I'm specifically speaking of is the concept of rebirth, essentially. Needing to kill your old self in order to elevate to your newer, higher self. And I also wanted to put out this video in honor of launching my brand new money mindset course that you guys can find on my new website, Non-Busy Businesswoman. It's a really good mindset course about calling in money, how to get into the money mindset, and completely get rid of lack mentality. And it's the first course of 4 different courses that I'm launching on that website. And I think that starting with getting your mind right is the best place to start. So check that out, but more on that later. I've been through a lot of different phases in my life. I like to say I've lived 4 lives. I might be on my 5th. I just had a huge recent identity shift and quantum leap where I just decided to up and move to Hawaii alone, and that's been a big leap for me. Put me into a different mindset and completely shifted my reality. I tend to do that a lot. I would say that I rebirth every 4 years, maybe every 3 years. It depends on the season. I understand that in order to rebirth and elevate and go to the next level and do the scary thing and do the thing you never thought you could do or never saw for yourself, you have to let go of your old self. That is what is really holding you back. You are literally holding yourself back. Self-sabotage is when you, the conscious you, wants to do something, but the physical you, the ego you, the superficial you wants to hold you back because she's comfortable. Why would she want you to leave? And in extreme cases with identity shift, she has to die. She doesn't want to die. So of course she's going to continue to pull you back and hold you back and drag you down and keep you comfortable because she wants to stay alive. Every conception of life, life form, energy, the goal is to stay alive. Growth happens on the other side of comfortability. You have to get outside of your comfort zone in order to grow. And so there's different ways to shift yourself, and I'm going to touch on the location shift because that is the avenue and the medium that I've recently used, but there's some other ones I want to touch on as well in this video. Sometimes it really does take you moving. It's sometimes in order to get out of your comfort zone, you have to literally do that. Sometimes your self-sabotage will continue to get the best of you. Your lower self will continue to drag you down as long as you keep them comfortable in their environment. So sometimes you really do need to move. Video is perfect timing because we are currently in the true new year. Sign of Aries is the start of the true new year. This is the perfect time for new beginnings. If you have been called or thinking about moving outside of your city, outside of your comfort zone, outside of your job, outside of your apartment, do it. There's a reason why you keep getting this calling to leave. And okay, what about the unknown? What if it doesn't work out in that new city? What if it doesn't work out in that new job? What if it doesn't work out in that new building? Well, okay, things have not worked out for you before. What did you do then? You pivot, you shift, you change. So instead of always thinking what could go wrong and what if it doesn't work out, think, what if it goes exactly the way I thought? Or what if it's better than I imagined? That's a thought that we really need to normalize, saying and thinking, what if it's better than I imagined? Because we don't know everything. We're not future tellers. We don't know everything. So as much as you may think you know exactly how something's going to turn out, you don't. And you'll never know until you do it. So sometimes it really does take you moving out of your city to become a different version of yourself. And honestly, I want to shy away from saying become a different version of yourself because sometimes with identity shift, you have to become a new person. You have to dissolve your old personality and your old way of thinking and your old way of being and go into a new. If you are not changing, then you are staying stagnant. If you are not open-minded, then you are staying fixed. And fixed, stagnant things cannot progress. They literally cannot progress. We are meant to constantly be moving, changing, shifting, evolving. I mean, even breaking it down to the smallest bit. Atoms, they're not still. Nothing is meant to stay still. Nothing is meant to stay in one place. Not only is there so much to see in the world, but there's so much to experience in the world. You need to get away from who you know and what you've known sometimes in order to create this new identity. And there's a very popular quote that I used to find myself putting on my vision boards. I've been making vision boards since I was a teenager. Like every New Year's, I would make a vision board, sometimes twice a year. My teenage bedroom had an entire wall just full of just magazine coverings of inspiring things. Like when I was a teenager, I just wanted to be grown. I really just wanted to be grown. And so like I was always planning what I was gonna do when I was 18, my first apartment, my style, my closet, my job. Like I was always planning for the future, and I always had this visual representation of what I wanted the future to look like for me. And I used to always find myself finding this quote and pasting it somewhere. And the quote is, life is not about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. And I swear up until about 2 years ago, I did not truly, fully understand what that quote meant. I just knew I liked it, I knew I was drawn to it, and I kept coming across it. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we're on this journey to find ourselves. Like, isn't that what life is about? Aren't we supposed to find ourselves? Well, first of all, who said we were lost? Second of all, I'm right here. And lastly, life is about creation. I have the right and the tools needed to create a new version of myself. That really applies to this identity shift concept, because life in itself is creation energy. Life continues to evolve through creation, not through finding itself. What is life? That's not the question. Life is the answer. Someone's in here. Life is the answer. I'm here. I was born. That alone is a miracle within itself. So what am I going to do with this life? Am I going to continue to find myself, or am I going to create the best life I can create? If you have these big dreams and big goals, and I say big with quotation marks because nothing is big. Everything is super relative. So what's big to you may be small to me, what's big to me may be small to you. Like, everything is relative. When you are finding yourself saying, oh, that's too far-fetched, or that's too unrealistic, that's another big word that should be out of our vocabulary. If you are finding yourself saying these things, it's because you, in your current state, cannot conceptualize the future version of yourself and what she can do and will do, because you're not there yet. So when you think about it, 5 years ago, did you know that you were going to be where you are right now? 5 years ago? Did the 5 years ago version of you know the version of you today? Did she know you? She may have had an idea of who you are. You know, she may have even had a whole plan of who you were going to be. The version of me 5 years ago, the 24-year-old Jasmine, did not know 29-year-old Jasmine. She doesn't know me. I know her because I lived that, but she doesn't know me because she's not living through me right now. She had to die. In order for me to be who I am today, I had to keep practicing rebirth. I had to kill off the version of me that would say, I can't do that, or I don't deserve that, or that's too big, that's too out of my league, that's too unrealistic. I had to kill that version. She couldn't come with me. And so a lot of times when you talk about leveling up, we talk about not being able to bring certain friends along. And that's extremely true. But we also need to start talking about how you can't bring certain versions of yourself along. That little voice in the back of your head that's telling you that it's too late to go back to school, she gotta go. That little voice in your head that's telling you it costs too much to live in a new city, she gotta go. That little version of you that's saying she can't start a YouTube channel because it's too late, she gotta go. She has to go. Letting go is the hard part. But once you let it go, that's it. Think about it like a balloon. When you let the balloon go, you can't jump up and get that balloon string. It's gone. You've let it go, it's done. And so that's how you have to treat certain versions of yourself. They gotta go, they gotta die. They can't come with you. Another thing is, the past only exists in your mind, right? The past only exists in your mind. We can capture it with film and videos, and the past exists in other people's minds through their projection and lens of you. But the real past, the past that you know, only exists in your mind. And so when you keep on talking about the past, you're keeping the past alive. You're keeping that narrative alive. You have to sometimes literally forget about the past, especially if the past is not a safe space for you. It's not a place of joy. You gotta let the past die sometimes. Keep talking about the past. Oh, well, this happened to me, so I can't do this. Oh, well, this happened to me, so that's why I'm like this. You gotta let it go. It's only existing beyond your mind because you keep bringing it back into this reality through talking about it. So like, stop talking about the past. As harsh as that may sound, stop talking about the past, because the more you talk about the past, you're keeping it alive. The past is dead and gone. Why are you letting the past interfere with your present? I take every present moment as what it is. And I used to idealize, could create a fairy tale around it and think ahead. But now I just think about what's going on right now in this moment. And if you really think about it, that's all that matters. That's all we have. That's all that's guaranteed. And that's all that matters. We only have the now. If the past is just eating you up and not letting you live, then you need to kind of look around and see if you have any memorabilia around that's constantly reminding you of the past. You know, get things that remind you of the past that's not a good time out of sight and out of mind. Whether that's deleting old photos of people, getting rid of physical photos, getting rid of physical things, physical gifts, again, getting out of your physical location. If it's just a constant reminder of the past, which is not good for you and holding you back, and keeping the past alive in your mind, you need to get away from these things. So back to personality decay, right? Once again, the old you did not believe in the new you. She had no faith in the version that you are today. She didn't know that you were capable of that, and that's not her fault. It's not her fault. She just literally didn't know any better. So how can you imagine that the version that you are right now knows anything about the version of you 5 years from now? The version of you 5 years from now, you don't know her. Now, if we jump 5 years from now, 2028, okay? She will know you. She will know the 2023 version of you, but you don't know her. So stop thinking that you do. Stop telling her what she can and cannot do. You don't know what's best for her. You don't know what she's capable of. You don't know where she's going to be at. You do not know her. Whatever you want to do, do it. Stop the buts. Stop the what ifs. Stop the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Whatever you want to do, do it. And when that little voice comes in your head and says, but what about this? Oh, but remember you did this in the past and that's why you can't do this now. When that voice comes in, just remember that she doesn't know you. She doesn't know what the future version of you can do. So stop listening to her. It's like taking bad advice, you know? So when it comes to identity shift, sometimes the jump start that you need is to move to a new city. Sometimes it's a smaller step, which is just moving into a new building. 2 months ago, I was living in Atlanta, sitting in traffic to go absolutely anywhere, in the dating scene, which was treacherous, trading stocks all day. I kind of got into a routine. I was going to the same stores every day, going to the same places, doing the same things. I felt like I was just kind of existing. And so when the new year started rolling around, I said, what do I want to be doing? What will make me feel alive? I love the water. I love the beach life. I love the sun. I love laid back living. I also love luxury. Where do I need to be so that that is in my vicinity at all times? And so I decided Hawaii, that's where I can be, where that is literally my reality. I don't have to seek that, it's my reality. I'm in it. I've planted myself in it. And that's another thing. When I was in Atlanta, I was traveling a lot. You know, thankfully I had the means to travel, but I used traveling as an escape from my reality. And so that was another thing that I thought about when deciding where do I want to move to. I said, where can I live where I feel like I don't need a vacation? And Hawaii was the answer for me. I have absolutely no vacations planned this year. So you have to really ask yourself, what do I want? Ask yourself what you want and do it. And you do it by becoming the version of her that does it. You have to literally quantum leap into your future self because she did it already. You just don't know that yet. Be sure to check out my money mindset course, all about how to call in money into your life, because the truth is, a lot of things take money nowadays. Yes, it is a money focused course, but it's all about mindset and mindset shift, about calling money in and completely getting out of lack mentality. So I will put that link down below for you guys. I hope that this video inspired you, motivated you, maybe got you thinking about something, got the wheels turning. I really hope it did.